It's wild how most people don't even realize the tiny money mistakes they make every single day are the exact reasons they stay stressed, broke, and stuck in the same cycle for years. It's like having a small leak in a water tank. You don't notice it at first, but one day you wake up and the tank is empty. And the truth is, it's not usually the big disasters that destroy your finances. It's the quiet, invisible habits. The ones you've gotten so used to that you don't even question them anymore. But the moment you become aware of them, everything starts to shift. That's the whole reason channels like Smart Cash Academy exist. Not to preach, not to brag, but to shine light on the patterns that keep good people trapped in money stress. And once you see these patterns clearly, you can't unsee them. You start making different choices automatically. One of the biggest silent traps is living paycheck to paycheck without actually tracking where your money goes. Not because you're irresponsible or reckless, but because life is busy, things come up, and before you know it, you're just trying to survive the month. But imagine this, someone earns $1,000 and spends $1,000. Someone else earns $3,000 and still spends $3,000. Both feel broke, both feel trapped, and neither actually knows what happened to their money. That's the danger of untracked spending. Your money disappears like smoke, and you end up wondering why you're always stressed. The mindset here is simply survival mode. I'll figure it out next month. But next month never fixes anything. The simple fix, start tracking just the basics. Not a fancy spreadsheet, not a complicated app, just list where your money goes for 7 days. That tiny awareness alone can make you pause before making a purchase you don't need. And if you've been stuck in this cycle, remember you're not failing. You're waking up. And this awakening leads you naturally into the next silent mistake that feels harmless, but is actually one of the biggest wealth killers, using credit cards to fund a lifestyle instead of emergencies. Most people don't even realize they're doing it. A dinner here, a new gadget there, a quick treat because I deserve it after a long week. And before long, the credit bill doesn't feel like a number. It feels like a wall closing in. The interest is brutal, and the more you rely on the card, the deeper you sink. The mindset behind it is simple. I'll pay it off later. Future me will figure it out. But future you deserves better than cleaning up the past. So fix this by using your card only for expenses you already have the money for, or true emergencies. Imagine the power you gain when the card becomes a tool, not a trap. Every time you resist swiping it for something unnecessary, you're quietly building discipline that compounds over time. And speaking of emergencies, one of the most common mistakes that keeps people broke is not building the first small emergency fund. Not thousands of dollars. Just the first $50, the first $100, the first $200. People underestimate the power of that tiny cushion. When you have nothing saved, every problem becomes a crisis. A flat tire ruins the month. A small bill becomes a disaster. But the moment you build even a mini emergency fund, something changes inside you. You stop panicking. You stop depending on debt. You start breathing again. The mindset blocking most people is I'll start saving when I have more money. But in reality, you start having more money only when you start saving something. So put away a small amount consistently, even if it feels meaningless. What matters isn't the amount. It's the identity shift. You go from someone who's drowning to someone who's preparing. And this naturally flows into another mistake that many people don't even realize is crippling their finances, having no budget or having spending habits they don't understand. A budget isn't a punishment, it's a map. Imagine going on a road trip without a destination or gas plan. You'd end up stranded. That's exactly what happens financially when you don't know where your money should go. People often believe budgeting means restricting fun, but the truth is the opposite. Budgeting lets you enjoy spending without guilt because you know what's already taken care of. A real-life example, someone spends $300 eating out without realizing it, feels broke, then cuts out all fun for a month. But another person budgets $80 for restaurants and enjoys every bite without stress. The fix is simple. Pick 3 categories: essentials, savings, and fun, and assign a limit you can stick to. You don't need perfection. You need direction. From there, it's almost impossible not to talk about one of the most emotionally damaging mistakes, buying things to impress others. It's the trap of wanting people to see you a certain way, even if your bank account says otherwise. It could be clothes, gadgets, a fancy phone upgrade, or posting things online to look successful. The truth? No one cares as much as you think, and the people you're trying to impress aren't paying your bills. The mindset behind this mistake is insecurity, wanting validation, wanting approval, wanting to feel enough. But here's the truth. Real confidence comes from having control over your money, not from showing off purchases. The fix is to pause before buying something and ask, am I doing this for me or for people who won't remember it next week? That simple question can save you months of regret and thousands of dollars. Another silent money leak that keeps people broke is ignoring the tiny daily expenses that feel too small to matter. The $5 coffee, the spare subscriptions, the apps you forgot you were paying for, the quick snacks, the impulsive delivery orders, none of them feel like a big deal, but together they're like termites eating your financial foundation. You don't see the damage until it's too late. A classic example, someone says they can't save, but they spend $4 a day on something they've never questioned. Over 30 days, that's $120, enough for savings, bills, or investing. The mindset here is, it's just a small amount, but small amounts repeated daily become massive. The solution isn't to cut all joy from your life. It's simply awareness. Audit your subscriptions. Pick one small habit to adjust. When you take control of small leaks, you gain control of your entire financial ship. And this brings us to one of the biggest regrets people have later in life, not investing early. Most people avoid investing because they think it's complicated, risky, or only for people with high income. But the real danger isn't the stock market, the real danger is waiting. Time is the strongest force in building wealth, and every year you delay, the cost becomes higher. Imagine someone who invests $50 a month for 10 years versus someone who waits and invests double but for less time. The first person often ends up with more simply because they started earlier. The mindset stopping most beginners is fear. Fear of losing money, fear of not understanding, fear of making the wrong choice. But doing nothing is the biggest wrong choice. The fix is to start small. Learn the basics. Begin with an amount you can afford to lose. Investing isn't about being perfect. It's about participating. And this ties perfectly into another deeply misunderstood belief. Thinking earning more money will automatically fix your financial problems. It won't. If you can't manage $500 a month, you won't magically manage $5,000. If you're stressed at a small income level, that stress multiplies with a higher one. Bad habits scale. The mindset that more money solves everything is comforting but false. People with high incomes go broke all the time because they never built discipline. The fix is mastering money at the level you are right now. You don't need more income to start building wealth. You need better habits. The moment you take responsibility for your current numbers, you prepare yourself for bigger numbers. And part of building those habits is overcoming one of the most damaging money mistakes of all, being afraid to learn about money. It's completely normal. Personal finance feels overwhelming at first. There's jargon, rules, strategies, taxes, accounts, investments. Many people avoid it because they're scared of feeling dumb or making a mistake. But ignorance is far more expensive than learning. Every piece of knowledge you gain gives you power. A real example, someone who learns how interest works can avoid debt traps that millions fall into. Someone who learns the basics of investing can retire years earlier. The mindset that money is too complicated is often just fear talking. The fix is to approach learning like a beginner. Read one article a day, watch one video, listen to one podcast. You don't need to master everything. You just need to grow 1 inch at a time. Education is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. This leads naturally into another habit that sneaks into your life without you noticing: procrastinating on financial decisions. You know you need to start budgeting. You know you need to save. You know you need to invest. You know you need to cut subscriptions. You know you need to call the bank, compare plans, or pay off old debt. But weeks go by, then months, and suddenly a year passes with nothing changed. Procrastination is not laziness. It's avoidance. It's fear disguised as comfort. But the cost of waiting is massive. Every delay makes the problem bigger. The fix is to take one action today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Even if it's small, cancel one subscription, start one savings transfer, read one investing guide. One small action creates momentum that carries you to the next. And naturally, this connects to another subtle mistake: believing your financial situation is fixed, that you're stuck where you are. Many people convince themselves that they just aren't good with money, or that wealth is not for people like them. But that belief alone keeps them broke. Money skills aren't genetic, they're learned. And the moment you challenge that belief, your entire life trajectory shifts. The fix is to replace the thought, "I can't do this," with "I can learn this." You'd be surprised how much opens up when you stop counting yourself out before you even try. And when you start changing those beliefs, you begin noticing another damaging habit, letting emotions control your spending. Stress spending, boredom spending, sadness spending, celebration spending, emotional spending adds up fast. When money becomes a way to escape feelings, the bank account empties and the problems remain. A real-life example, someone has a bad day at work and buys something online to feel better, only to feel worse when the bill arrives. The fix is not to eliminate all fun, it's to pause when you feel emotional and ask, is this a need or a reaction? That tiny pause can save you hundreds. Over time, you gain emotional control, and financial control always follows. And all these mistakes together point toward the last major pattern that keeps people broke, accepting financial stress as normal. So many people grow up thinking money struggles are simply part of life. But stress doesn't mean you're failing. It means change is needed. The mindset shift is realizing you're not powerless, you're not stuck, you're not too far behind, you just haven't been taught the rules yet. And once you learn them, the game becomes winnable. And this is where everything comes together. Because once you identify your money leaks, build awareness, stop the emotional spending, track where your money goes, start investing even with small amounts, break the paycheck to paycheck cycle, and commit to learning instead of avoiding, your entire financial future shifts. Not through luck, not through miracles, through intentional habits that anyone can build. So let this be your turning point. Not someday, not when you have more money, but today, right now. Decide that you're done repeating the same patterns that have kept you stuck. Decide that you deserve peace, options, freedom, and stability. Decide that your future matters more than temporary impulses. You don't need to be perfect, you don't need to know everything, you just need to begin. And if you've watched this far, it means the desire for change is already alive in you. So take the next step, make one better choice today, then another tomorrow. Small actions repeated consistently will transform your life. Because the truth is simple, you're not broke because of who you are. You're broke because of habits you can unlearn. And the moment you choose better habits, you choose a better future. Your story starts now.